Employment is a major factor in every country's development. Lack of employment creates uncomfortable environment for citizens, including professionals, and the reasons many prefer to leave the country for greener pasture abroad, especially the youth. The term, which is known as migration, is the movement of people from one place to another for various reasons, which some include job, education, or marriage. Migration can be temporal or permanent. Ghana has the most vibrant and energetic youth that must be supported to support the country's economic development, but they do not see this happening, so they prefer leaving the country abroad for greener pastures. Ghanaians, mostly the youth, migrate to countries like Europe, Asia, America, and within the African continent, such as Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Togo, Nigeria, among others. Traveling in Ghana is not easy. It comes with its own challenges, like getting visa and visa fees. I visited Ilubu in the western region where Ghana shares border with Cote d'Ivoire to find out why most Ghanaians youths are migrating Ghana to abroad. I met 3 young men, Emmanuel Kwesi, Harrison Kwesi, and Richmond Yankee at the Ilubu Takrade Kumasi lorry station. They have come from Cote d'Ivoire and returning to their hometown, Agona, in the Ahanta district of Takrade. I asked them what took them to Cote d'Ivoire.
No, not too many. And then tell me, Copa and Ninchang and if you are one. I see, or she look boys on our quad and look boys on him. Today, boys are much down, much waste.
I don't walk gang, say my worker.
Tinto Bandamna, I'm an old woman, no, baby them tender, young court near the Yankee man.
As Ilubu border is a route to many destinations to Cote d'Ivoire and other countries, some of the immigrants use the border and some too smuggle by crossing the River Tano. I interacted with one of the officers at the border about immigrations and their role at various cross points.
The work of immigration is regulating the movement of persons in and out, both locals and foreigners. Our much attention is on foreigners especially. We also qualify for documents, visas, and entering the country illegally and living illegally are our most, the major work that we do. Aside that, we know Ghanaians are our own people. They don't have any problem with us. The fact that the person is a Ghanaian, either entering or leaving is no problem. But if they have genuine concerns as to how they relate to other countries where they are entering, it's what sometimes they do come to us for an advice.
My exploration also took me to the former assembly member of Ilubu West electoral area, Nana Frendo Boso Kwesi, and took his opinion about the reasons why most Ghanaian youths migrate abroad.
The reason that some of our youth cross the border is that the government of Ghana, even though there's a job opportunity for the youth, but it's not easy to access the job. And however, some of the youth are many to the extent that the job available in the country cannot contain them. So because of that, they cannot sit at the house idly. Means that they have to find ways and means to leave the country. So on that note, some cross the border. When they get to other enclave, to be precise, Europe, they are being stuck. because somehow along the line, the money with them got finished, and the one leading them also somehow disappoint them. If they are disappointed, it means that they became stranded. Because of that, some also find ways and means to do other work to survive.
As the situation is access to job, Harrison Kwasin and his friends continued their story in Mafele, Galamsey site.
Kweno e kotu ada boys bo o ere an so eduma onu fi Ghana ono ere onu kwe no eduma ti akwa be bi onu e kotu no chede o wade mbeba ndo ne esdam dia ya tinefum ne ane akasa nti ere chisres na loku boys ne tinefum ne ekese dejuma ne prere ye bomko na onu e kotu was no awon Ebro abeda 4 months papa. When the man dim na din na on answer no there. When na bush no tutu ebi ne banchi na no there. For this no would do.
What be down?
What Jan?
If some
my fellow wenti. I was when John man. I chin there. You put down, I try to bobo into you put down. I check I'm saying I bought Ghana and tell him story. I trivia yes ways of down by difference. First I actually so down or money action cage now they need the pre. Hey, them don't know I feeling. Near catch on the Damadia, Yakabona, my day, man, or feeling to maintain from there. Yankasa, no one pocket man and then. Fancy if you because young Opad no Opad by friend I go near Cado. This Yamao, Mbelco, 8 months. Into a mom's can find jam wife friend and Mumbra bed man. Or catching them bear. Me the Mbo do for bedding. Or bed you know there or the armor. Ewa, Nam de Asano. By a benson, ya can't wind then. One just can I and farm my man then. I'm a boss.
The officer, however, explained the tendency at which Ghanaians cross the Ilubu border and the motive of crossing.
About 50% of people that do pass, anytime you ask them, they say they are going to some of the embassies for visas, whatever embassy in Cote d'Ivoire, for a visa. Why? Because sometimes we even ask, then why are you not taking the visa here? So to get a visa here is difficult, but it's so easy there. We have seen that is some of the people rather lure them by giving them nice information. When you go to this place, it's so easy for you to get it. In a way, contributing money to a so-called facilitator and take them to. Some of them will go and come back with complaints. When they even see the person again, you left them somewhere, so they have to even borrow some money and come back. We do advise them all the time, but as human beings as they are, and Ghanaians too, we cannot restrict their movement. So the only thing that we can do is just to advise. Whoever listens will go back. If you are still insisting that you want to go and have a taste of it, we just leave you.
Honorable Frendo was of the view that government must consider creating employment opportunities for the youth to sustain them from migrating abroad.
I think that any country, the leaders have to look to it into perspective that they will develop employment opportunity for the youth to get work to do. If they do that, it means that the youth will never leave their country to go and serve the other country, whereby Ghana needs such youth to work so that the economy of the country can also improve. Aside that, I think the government have to look at it again that since the aged are leaving the system, the youth have to replace them. So it is very important for the government leaders or the policy makers to make a good policy that will create available job opportunity or employment for the youth to have work to do, to get something to put on the table, to feed the family.
After 1 week, 3 days struggle in Mafele, Harrison and his friends said they begged for money before they got transport to Ghana.
On pere beba Ghana, we are plan near the info. It's a coba babim, no idea, a big bottle in San near the assassin's car. Badi, they bought to answer them Nania catching, bonus in GB, until me and Madame no one had a nice share. To say, Yakare, the media born near catch Madame the no, I am to an offer me is can a coconut apple. Here the man there. No, but no, I did now move on, turn phone. Yes, it's can about super cry, which made the abba near the day see.
It's Mukuri this world.
1 3 days.
And per their experience, I asked them, in case their senior man calls again that things are better now, so they should return to Mafele, would they go back?
See, Yanini, Bibia,
Siari and any issue, Siari, Aberdeen and Comedy, and the Indonesian.
A friend said, no, I've been into
I know from the shop or so we are from we are not the new bestman. Since I'm young, this year, she baby, Lydia Lala, not the feel better, young trainer. Baby, Beno back at there, baby, you feeling it, Yapon, why be feel large in a young cousin.
The Ghana Statistical Service in 2010 Population and Housing Census recorded that 250,624 Ghanaians emigrated at different destinations abroad. After 10 years, the Ghana Statistical Service again in 2021 Population and Housing Census recorded 293,416 Ghanaian immigrants abroad, a 42,792 increase in the year of review, of which most of these immigrants are young adults between the ages of 25 to 35 years. Ghanaians travel everywhere in the world. In 2021, Ghanaian male immigrants in Asia was 9,532 and 4,152 females. In Europe the same year, Ghanaian male immigrants was 69,884 and 40,355 females. Male immigrants in America was 41,595 and 28,005 females in 2021. On the African continent, Ghanaian immigrants was 23,684 and 5,626 females in 2021. Data of nurses and midwives immigration in 2020 indicated that 3,600 nurses and midwives emigrated Ghana to abroad. In 2022, the figure was 3,000. The emigration of nurses and midwives further increased in 2023 to 6,000. Within 3 years, the emigration of nurses and midwives abroad accumulated to 12,600. Teachers, on the other hand, had no data concerning their migration. The reason given was that there's no database that covers teacher emigration, according to the National Teaching Council, and now developing a database that will register all teachers both home and abroad. As I further continued my exploration on the story behind the recent increase of Ghanaian youths migrating abroad, I visited some places in Accra. I went to the whole Aflao bus station, but the drivers and passengers there were not ready to speak with me. So I continued my journey to Ablinkpe in the Gan West District and visited the Canada Visa Application Center, which is at the same location with Kempon Travel and Tours. People come here to make inquiries, submit visa application forms, and take feedback. I met Abna Mary, a hairdresser who has come and submitted her visa application form and hanging out with friends. I spoke with her, which country she intends to go, and why she does want to leave Ghana abroad.
Oh, I'm going to another bar. Me kwa Canada. Once I na kajuma awa ha. That is the youth no. They better to kwansa. Because of ajuma papa bi ani, ni say ajuma oho. But obi awie school so many years, okita CV. Onye ajuma anye. Onam ana obo brabon. Say na ka me ma dwen chane say na ajuma aba boy youth na. Ka me hu say yen tutu kwan. Because of ajuma ni ha no. Enti na ma yen ye tutu kwan. She be finished because then me friends and share them from uncle be short from money to now when you do 100 cities here.
Finding out from Abna Mary what makes working in abroad different from Ghana, this was her opinion.
Hours any problem with the mom. Oh, perhaps a bit not an upper. That's what be a juma. 7:30 up on 6:8. Was we but someone's calculator with himself. We are 1 hour. You scared but to wait in your job by me answer. But me made when I made me any day. And say I better help because me make it in some juma. A dog when you find a juma. Yes.
She suggested there should be enough jobs for the youth to keep them from migrating abroad.
Transportation could be sick. It's a juma no say or maybe be a phone. After my juma, I was so has here. Yeah, youth, young took, but me the mako.
At Ofanko, I met Prince Asante, a welder. He said he has made several attempts to move Ghana to overseas. He told me the effort he has made to get to Europe.
Me awardani ba wada juma no ise the antisa first me man ya de ayabasa to me ma say me de me tukwan ba kwanto nso na nya better say me be se ko Cote d'Ivoire e ya say ke be fa for my de akọ ba mra o yes ke ko Morocco ake du aja ya fenso no so ya de akọ because bi ma fa ko de da ma de o ma di ye yes ya say ke fa the same route na but along the line no how many people America say route near there emwa they say they forget it na me mra Ghana no be connect to be there e dey amame that's rather unfortunate about Ghana no never be ever sa ama sikabi according say almost 52,000 according to say friend na no ka story e dey chenipa eja say dem abasco zero Ghana as say mo e dey uko pe djuma ko be tu aka 600 Ghana 800 Ghana yaso ekura nkwala I imagine so wo ba obede and aka rent simu self contained for 400 Ghana 800 o 400 fima be ka 400 so be di yo be she o be to duro di ama ba kwa no chale ni easy ba ma for to kwa ma so se jenu na home team me nya skanye connection bit ma se me fa Libya na de akọ ya me dem dream an se me de to kwa no but when I need your stem abamu ne de emu ye this time I say me sam for another route na de e di akọ I say can me sam fa Libya na de akọ abrabo na bo ni na Rex
na woni se fo mfa so no be akọ am month na so ba
bagana akọ wan kokoro betima wu accident mi so no obi awu di so ko na wu a mfa ho bo ma so di awa yiye ana abrabo na ye bo ni nyesa all about Rex so we want to take risks I want to be you abrabo okwa di be 4-5 years sika abo mobilize now they about my anim now they about establish home but say hapa there so so me to memu anu for say go mo tran de e kan kwa na ka ye bi no ko bi de ekọ ba kwa menche twa be 5 years sika be now they about Ghana now they abeboa say be o man be de e do ko na ni.
Eunice Tetevi is a resident of Amamole in Accra. She traveled to Dubai. She also shares her story how she got to Dubai after her national service and the challenges she faced in Dubai.
After my national service in 2013, I had problems getting jobs. And you know, after that time now, Obi Lenke me Emma Obi wo diagnostic company bi wo Accra Spentex. So I started working with them, but the salary was very low, and when it comes to payment of salary, I said na papa no at the end of the month no. Instead of to fully 800 cedis no. Or to be ma 400. Na later wasamba be tuebi. Nti me share no na emboa me. Baby am free so ekọ ejuma no. Na lorry fare take almost any medidie take almost half of my salary. Nti mene madam fu bi kasa senka obetimi ya boa me wo akwantuom. Ti okay onim agent bi oboa nkrofo ko Saudi Arabia, Dubai ni ade. Ti na also thought Dubai no se ni ayetene no. It's a cool and then a good country, better than Ghana. That was what I thought. And so the my agent way, Emma Mituya, Satan no charging me visa fee 2,000 cedis. So I gathered some money, paid the visa fee, but ticket was not inclusive. So I paid the money, and for about 6 months, I wasn't hearing anything concerning the visa. Ibusana or the mene or China sa. Eventually, I had to use some tactics to take back my money, and I said to myself, say, okay, then let me find another means. Me angasa me debe call Dubai ho. I had this friend say me ho chire me oboa me sikasemu. So one time I so send ya mami 50, mami 100 no. Emboa inti no pese oye ade de boa me. Ti ni obetimi ani say obetimi aboa me ama I get Dubai visa. But when it comes to tickets, I should do my best and then look for my own ticket and then go. So I told him, okay, no problem. He should just go ahead and then help me with the visa. So he started with this visa process, and it took like just 1.5 months to 2 months to come out. I verified and everything was genuine and then correct. See, I had to look for money for ticket. And also I struggled for about close to 2 months. Na me nyas kampo mfancha ticket. And a Dubai visa na da ubewura kronumu no, it start counting. And my friend had a job, secretary job e wo Dubai ma me senka. Mekwa akoye. At time me nya sika twa ticket no, we could do kronu so na tete. Ejuma no ye de ama obi. Then I had to find my own way. Encounter challenges bebre. I have to live on expired condensed milk from the company. Biwa hokrana undidimpo ena wada, because usika ka almost 600 cedis. Enumu na bibia ube show denyo enumu na ewo. Enti I had to survive on borrowing monies from people. Esa bejame eka any idea. I would say when you want to travel to those countries, not those countries, any country, go through a genuine means. Because I'm using mine as an example. Senka me the work visa mpo ene koya. Enka that one would have been better chance any me the tourist visa. Ene koya, because tourists no, they know that you came on a tour. You didn't come for work. And you know, getting work no will be very difficult.
I continue my exploration to respective government offices and institutions such as the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, Ghana National Teaching Council, Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, and travel and tour agencies for their opinion on concerns raised by the youth, government policies, government plans, and the institution's plans, but all my calls remains unsuccessful. So I got back to my officer, an opinion leader and former assembly member of Ilubo, for their suggestions to government on interventions, plans and policies to support the youth and reduce or stop their migration and suffering in the hands of wrong people who take them for their advantage and fraud them.
Some works, government works, I would suggest should be decentralized. You see, and there are resources each area. Around this place, I think this kind of farming is common here. And we have vast lands too. It's unfortunate that people will go to school and they see farming to be work that they are not supposed to do. But if indeed they understand it, and the government also try to resource them this kind of equipment for them to work and work proper, you can get something better from it. So I would suggest, if that kind of equipment is going to be decentralized, at least if 50 people are expected in each district or in each region, the fact that you qualify, then you can go to. We will be able to make sure that every year, if we are to enlist 1,000 people to police, at least 10 or 15 or 20 people will come from each district. But if it happens like people who are in the cities are not going to enjoy, then those in the villages will be suffering, and it will pile up the unemployment, and it will continue to create the problems every day and then. So I think decentralization is also.
I will also say that our education system is not helping us. See, your father, your mother will take care of your education. At the end of the day, what you learned couldn't create any entrepreneurship or can't get you a job to do. Then you become what? Burden to the parents. So I think we have to look at our education system, our curriculum. You have to look at it again to create a curriculum whereby it will enthuse work opportunity for the students. I think the government have to look at all these things, because if there is a lot of unemployment youth in the country, it's a national security issue, because they also go and do something that is not conversant with the law of the country. And if they do that, the law also will get them, and they will also be taken to prison. And that one will never help the cause of the economy of the country.